Well, I was picking up on hesitation energy, almost like wanting to stick your toe in and then pulling it back. It feels connected to the heart space, and it's been coming through quite strong. It is coming in on the masculine side. So, of course, this can be your own internal masculine energy or from a specific masculine. But I'm going to go into this. And before I pull the messages, I do feel guided to let you guys know I did a member video yesterday, but you can also get it individually on Patreon for anyone who's been feeling, especially of feminines, deeper waves of shadows coming up as you're expanding. And if you've been experiencing any emotions or nervous system upset or discomfort that feels similar to the dark night of the soul or just feels really skewed in comparison to how you've been feeling, there is some of this energy, I call it the black tarry goo energy coming up that really feels inorganic, not like our traditional facing our own shadows. So if you've been facing your shadows and you still feel like there's this unknown energy or presence that has a hold of some part of you or your connection or your life or your consciousness, you may want to check that out. I will put it in the pinned comments. You can, like I said, Patreon or YouTube memberships. It's the same videos, but I want to go into what is going on with this masculine energy that's feeling hesitant. And what I'm sensing is with this jeweled web connectivity, it feels like the hesitation is like where things have been disconnected. And it's like a disconnection from the communication, a disconnection from the heart, a disconnection from the earth, a disconnection from the truth. But I'm also simultaneously feeling where this awareness is coming to the forefront because there's an opportunity for things to reconnect and to realign. And as I'm saying this, I feel this intersecting with what I just spoke about with the feminines feeling more of the shadows coming up. And as I'm saying this, I'm feeling where this can be connected to the shared space between the feminine and masculine, but also again within our own internal union energies. So I actually, as I'm saying it, I feel guided to bring messages for both because the inner reflects the outer, correct? So whatever is happening within you will be reflected externally, and whatever is happening within the connection may be happening internally. So I'm going to go first. Well, you know what? Let's just see how it wants to come in. Okay. Regardless of how you identify, this is about you setting your intention to reconnect with all true parts of yourself. Okay. This is where you're calling all of your energy home, asking for clarity, asking for truth. And I can say for myself, since working with and really dropping into that 2D energy, there has been a massive shift in the energies and a lot of new connections, reconnections, true energy coming in as old things are clearing out. This feels like, think of this as like communication circuits or your own grid. You have your own energetic grid. Now imagine you had your grid, and before you knew you had your grid, things were just connecting in with your grid. And so you got overloaded or confusing energy. But now you're reclaiming your own grid back. Okay. So if there was things on the grid that didn't belong, you can just ask those to unravel, ask for your true energy. This is why I always encourage you to have your own direct connection to source of your creation, your own direct connection to earth, your own stream of light and information so that you can hear your own communication, my loves. Okay. And as you realign and own that, then you can start to expand and understand your higher connection, the telepathic connection, the messages you're getting, who's sending the messages, what you are receiving, what is aligned with you, what is time to unravel out of your space, and things of that nature. So, as I'm speaking this, if you've been feeling any internal hesitation or uncertainty, again, you can literally work with your energy, claim that stream of light. You can envision it, you can intend it, you can draw it. I work with people in sessions around it. I have your own portal of light. I think I did about a year ago session. Either way, as these waves of shadows might be coming up for the feminines, I feel like there's something opening for the masculines as well, and that's why they're coming through. And it's coming through like the hesitation is the uncertainty of the different dimensions or the different experiences, where the masculine knows the 3D, understands the physical world, or at least the parts that they've been aware of, and there's these other things going on that we don't always know, right? We haven't necessarily been taught. It's something that we have to learn. And part of it, this is why I always encourage simplifying it into owning your own stream, right? It's essentially your own direct line to the true energy. And then you decide after that, okay? It's like you find your own truth, your own voice, and then you move from there. Okay, let's see what else is coming through. Oh, wow. Okay, there's a bunch that just flew out and fell all over the place. And I do feel an awkward energy. Just feel awkward around this message. I think that's why it's actually kind of been floating around for like weeks, but it was like so hesitant. It I didn't even know how to express it. But now it's like there is something higher activating, um like we spoke about, as the feminines stabilize like into the roots, into the lower dimensions, the masculine energies, and again, this is your own internal energies as well, but also collectively, it's like the masculines are sort of coming up into the higher chakras, or they are. Things are reigniting, turning back on. But the same way the feminine energies are wading through like what's real and what's the overlay in the lower chakras, in the lower dimensions, the masculines are going through a similar process in the higher dimensions, the higher chakras. And with this, look at it's like this web, and then there's like this web even over the crown. So it's like sorting through what's the true grid and what's the webs of confusion. And as I'm seeing this now today, this is bringing me to those black tarry energies that I spoke about. Like, what's the true higher grid, the true connection to source, the true connection to earth, and what is the programming or the overlay, the matrix, the goo, whatever you want to call it, that has artificially um, trained or affected our consciousness and our nervous system is what's coming through. And I have been feeling a potential for more nervous system work coming. For any of you who are interested in that now, I do have a free Nourishing the Nervous System session here on the channel. And then there's a whole series where we address the physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual portions of the nervous system. But as we're also expanding, I feel like we're getting into the higher nervous system, the higher connection to source, to the earth, to the higher dimensions. But I also know this is the area where we were taught to avoid, where we were taught to shut down, maybe where you felt scared or nervous as a child, uncertain around the energies, what was happening, where the adults or your parents had no awareness or idea of how to navigate the other dimensions. So you may have had to shut it down. The programming started to overlay your true energy, your true connection, things of this nature. If this is anything that's making sense for you, I'm sure many of you have been working on it on your own. But if you're feeling again like you want some support with this, my sessions are open. I have some space even available this week. But if this is coming up for you in any way, it's because we actually are going through an expansion. So what is happening is it's being revealed where there was still residuals or overlays or things of that nature. And for any of you who are in a counterpart connection, more of that or that core separation wound or the dark night of the soul energy may be coming up because it's ready to actually be cleared out. Like I've said a lot of times, as we get stronger, as we're more stable, as we're more embodied, these things come up because now we have the tools, the capacity, the support systems to actually move them. And before, like we were in a smaller container that we could navigate. And as we expand, we go to that next bigger container and then we do some cleanup there. At least this is how I see it. It's how it works for me. If it doesn't resonate, of course, leave it. Again, this is my understanding because for me personally, when I was in the dark night of the soul, when I was overwhelmed beyond belief and felt buried, it wasn't about avoiding anything per se, but I did need to have things in digestible containers so I could work with them. And that's why I speak about things in pockets. And what I've personally learned is as I take things in chunks, I can digest them, I can learn from them, I can integrate, I embody, then I go to the next level. You see what I mean? So, and then you do the next process of, unraveling what's untrue, bringing in the true energy, and like being able to digest the awareness and the lessons. And this is how we grow our capacity to not only embody our true energy more clearly and directly into the 3D, 2D, 1D, into physical form, but actually hold the capacity to then also let ourselves expand into those higher dimensions so that, again, we're embodying our essence and we're doing it in a way that we're the ones in control of our own energy, of our own stream. And of course, working with the highest power, source, God, creator, prime creator, source of our creation. However, you identify with that, your highest self, whatever feels most aligned and perfect for you is perfect. But it's that point of owning your stream, your energy, and then sort of cleaning up the cobwebs of what wasn't true to you. Okay. And so as we're working through this, it's like, again, walking away from what isn't, right? This is, I'm looking at the barren land, kind of, it's making me think of like the overlay of what we were told life is, right? The programming, packing your bags and then walking to the new earth, the new day, the true earth. And yes, it's been here with us, right? The truth of who you are, the truth of our energy has always been present, but we're clearing the seeds of doubt. We're clearing the seeds of where we have given our power away. Maybe because it was the only way to survive as a child, right? Or most likely that's what happened with many of us, right? And so now we're in a place where we're reparenting ourselves, we're reclaiming our energy, and we are expanding and realizing that we are so much more than what we thought and what we were taught. Okay. And maybe our little kid self, 1, 2, 3 years old, we remembered who we were and we were confused around why things were going down the way that they were. But now we're remembering. We can get those inner child aspects back. We can retrieve those parts, let them thaw back out, let them light back up and come online, and allow the webs of what is untrue to be dissolved. And then again, walk to the new day in our true energy. Okay. And this whole pile of cards fell in sort of like a flip. So before I even look at them, what I'm going to do is I feel guided to read these connected to like what is unraveling and what is opening. So sometimes, like, what happens when we unravel what was holding us back, the webs of programming, what it does is reveals what was underneath. It reveals the true you. It reveals your true powers, your true essence, your true energy, your true gifts. Okay. And it's not to say that you haven't been in any of those, but if you are resonating with any part of it, you potentially felt suppressed, or maybe you felt glimpses of or parts of your gifts, and then they squished down or tampered down, or you were scared to reveal them more fully. Okay, so let's see. What we have is the Seven of Cups, the King of Pentacles, the Chariot, the Four of Pentacles, the Knight of Cups, and the Four of Wands. Let me get a snippet of this. So it does feel like this is a message from the masculines since we started this out with the masculines. So the masculines are coming through to say that they have been choosing that highest timeline. They're learning how to master the physical world, and they're learning how to stabilize and embody their wisdom in a way with what they've known. And simultaneously, as they've been doing that, this is what's bringing up this other area, or will be bringing up this other area for the masculines if it hasn't. What's coming to me is like as they have embodied more clearly and cleanly into the physical, as they feel more stable with their physical life, it starts to open back up to those higher knowing, higher chakras. And then this is what I'm feeling may be happening for these hesitant masculines that were coming through, is they have made more progress in the physical, and the same way the feminines are getting initiated to their next levels of shadows, this is opening this for the masculine side. The what may have been avoided in the past or not believed in. Maybe they didn't believe in the magic, they didn't believe in the intuition, they didn't believe in these higher energies, or they just scared them and they really didn't want to deal with it. Well, what I'm sensing is as that full embodiment and mastery of their physical is more apparent, this is all getting activated. And that's what some of the hesitation is. but it does feel that this chariot energy is coming in as a big breakthrough, is sort of like they've reached a point where they want to keep growing and they're embodying into that physical. And then it reaches a point where there's no place else to go with their growth but to the higher chakras, the higher dimensions, into those other parts of themselves, which I'm sensing may be happening for some masculines. And it's going to be really opening up, is what I'm seeing. It's like what I'm seeing in my mind's eye is like the tree. So you get those nice, strong, deep roots. The feminines, you may be feeling this too, believe it or not, as those roots get deeper, it allows you the whole trunk to expand. It allows the branches to expand. And so, as those higher branches expand, this is where the webs and the clouds that have been the overlay get exposed. And this is what wants to open up and clear out. Wow, this is exactly what we did in the Uncensoring and Illumination series for any of you who are resonating with that. But as this opens, it feels like this feels like this activation, even with the colors, like the true energy can no longer be held back and like starts barreling forward to the new, to maybe the new isn't even the right word. It's like barreling forward into all of who they are. Okay. And then the way this is coming is there's the Four of Pentacles, the Knight of Cups, and the Four of Wands. So it feels like something, this is like another message. This feels like during this time, this is the inner feminine masculine, even maybe in the shared space of the connection. The feminine is really tuned in to the inner heart, working on the inner union and focusing in on whatever the feminine's being guided to embody, embrace, um, ground into, anchor into, like a deeper level of embodiment for the feminines. This looks like the masculine is still exploring another layer of physical reality, the physical 3D world, um, potentially connected to love and romance. And it feels like both masculine and feminine are in a deeper learning state. But what I'm also sensing is they are um, affecting one another, sort of like a ping pong match, it, in the sense that, wow, this energy is coming through quite strong, but it also feels like it needs space because um, there's they're both dropped into the physical more clearly. And so you may feel more energy ramping up between you and within the connection, even if you're not in communication. But this is why, sorry, divine feminines like really focusing on whatever is in front of you. It's not necessarily about figuring out what's going on with you in the masculine. You even see I'm like speaking, but I'm sort of distractible. This is the energy that's coming through. This is why this message has struggled to come through for so long, because it's like where things are, what I'm seeing is sort of like letting go of what it was so it can open up, expand, and become what it is now. And this feels like it's happening for both the masculine and feminines, and it's happening within you, the internal energies. I do want to pick, before I check in with the Four of Wands, I feel guided to pull some cards in between these two. Or one card, two cards. Let's see, what do we got? Okay, Hangman. This is allowing both to integrate a higher new perspective. So, what's happening and occurring right now is supporting both to understand themselves better, to understand their true power better, their true capacity as a being, and then also one another in the reflection of that. And although they may connect with a deep inner knowing of their connection, there's still two beings having different experiences in physicality. And so there's something that's wanting to harmonize within that in this bigger, broader experience. So it feels like this is not necessarily something for you to have all figured out either way. It's more about giving yourself space, giving the feminine space, giving the masculine space, giving the whole entire process space to reveal more truth, to reveal new perspectives, and to reveal what things actually want to be in that highest organic energy timeline. Okay. In this process that we're going through is what is supporting that outcome to the Four of Wands energy. So if you can release the pathway to get there and really just allow yourself to open, to expand, to clean up what wants to get cleaned up, to drop into the depths of who you are and embody and really surrender to that truest, highest timeline, your core soul blueprint, your core soul song, really just asking for the truth and being willing to embody the truth and release your expectations around how you are going to get there or arrive there through this process. And divine feminine, your capacity to surrender and surrender and surrender and take action as guided and inspired is supporting your process. Divine masculine, as you are doing the same, allowing yourself to follow your next steps, to surrender to what is inspiring you, and to continue to move forward, it'll help you in realizing what isn't true for you and what is by going through the experiences. Sometimes we have to know what isn't for us by experiencing it so we can realize what is for us. Okay. And it's just part of the human experience. But ultimately, what I'm feeling for both collectives is this process of embodiment into the physical and also expanding into the higher energies, the higher self, is going to ultimately lead each and every single one of you to where you are meant to be. And when you're in that energy and you're aligning with what is in your highest potential, well, do you really want anything else? So if you know you want your true highest potential and the organic energies, and you get yourself nice and aligned and focused in that area, whatever meets you there, whoever meets you there, whoever joins you along the way is what's meant for you, my loves. And when you're open to what is meant for you and you're enjoying the journey, it is leading you exactly where you're meant to be in each moment. Okay. So I know this probably went a little bit longer than I intended, but it was like once we finally broke through some of the hesitation and awkward energy, it's allowing you see the true energy to harmonize and flow and come together more deeply internally and externally. So again, gonna leave it there. I will do my best to drop everything in the pinned comments, but my website is there, my sessions are there, my memberships are there. Again, Patreon is where you can see the individual videos. So everything is there. If you have any questions, if you want to share, I would love to hear from you. Just drop it in the comments. And I am sending you so much love, and I hope you have a beautiful day. And I hope that you found this helpful. Take care. Much love. Peace.